for an atomic symbol, a pi symbol. Look for one of these as well. There's that one. Infinity. Found the first one yet. It's up there on the ceiling. I thought it was a lie. Oh well. Saw that. Saw that. And that. Aha, found that one. No, a croissant is not a pie. That does not count. There it is. USB key. Of that, since Portman has given me free rein, I ought to take advantage of it and try to find a copy of his programs. If he really is as good as they say, he may have been the one who wrote the famous piece of software which made his former friends so rich. Wow. That would be wrong. This is a sliding blocks game. Move the element to highlight the object. Okay. So it's got to come out up there. Okay. Move. Right. Now I've stuffed myself up completely. Stop it. Go. Perfect. I'll compare it with the source code for profile types software when I get back to the lab. In the meantime, I'm going to pay the sheriff a visit. Portman may not be the only one to have doubts about Peter's guilt. Take the key. Sheriff's office. Hello, Sheriff. Inspector Cunningham from New York Police. Hello, Inspector. You're far from home. What brings you here? An old case. That's good. It's practically a museum here. I did notice that you have a very beautiful collection. Are you Indian? Wow. Native American is what we say nowadays. Can I get you a coffee? With pleasure. You don't say who you are, though. You have the cheek to ask somebody else. TP! Quiver. Why has he got all this stuff? Bison. Arrow. Oh, I see. Drum. Knife. Indian shoes. Say arrow. Totem. Oh, totem. Cactus. Tomahawk. Knife. Bison. I haven't found a bison yet. Piece of pipe. Or even a pipe of peace. There's a knife. There's a bison. A canoe. Tomahawk. Indian necklace. Peace pipe. Indian necklace. I should find it before you do. I will. There you go. So, what's the old case? Peter Howard, a student accused of having attacked and murdered a young woman. Yes, Jennifer Lee, I remember. What would you like to know? Pretty much everything, really. Peter's old classmates are being killed one after the other, and I'm wondering whether there's a connection with what happened back then. They did everything to prevent Howard from being tried. I see, and what about you? Did you ever have any doubts about his guilt? Not really, no. In fact, I seem to remember that he confessed when he was in custody. Okay, I realised that at the time we weren't very nice with people who killed young women, and I think he withdrew his statement later, but they all do that. But we did find his sperm in Jennifer's body. What's more, his buddies would never have gone to such lengths to have him committed if he'd been innocent. We could have been sent to the chair, but he could also have been cleared. Thank you for your help. Do you think that I could possibly have a quick look at the files? I don't mind, but you're going to have to come back some other time. I have lots to do today, and it's going to take me hours to find it. Alright, see you again soon. Something tells me you might not find everything. And... oh no. Compare the code for profile type star software with the code developed by Peter Howard. Okay. Are they both here? Well, oh. Where the code? The code developed by Peter Howard. Okay. So what am I supposed to be doing? Oh! These are the words to find. Oh. I thought that was part of the screen. Right. Yes. Page guard. Oh. Can't process. Bytes, false break. Invalid process. What's that? Break. Error, invalid process. There you go. I've studied the programs developed by Peter. He was the one who wrote the profile type software. Yeah, but he still is a murderer. He worked out rather well for the 4 others. If he hadn't killed Jennifer, he would probably have sold the software himself. Are you implying that the others may have accused him of the murder in order to steal the project? Just an idea, but imagine that it was one of the other 3 who killed Jennifer, accusing Peter offered 2 advantages. It was found in the girl's body, Chloe, and if that's not proof, you're probably right, unless she was his girlfriend. Do you really think that the cops could have missed that? You never know. According to the sheriff, they weren't all that fussy about the methods to make him confess. Let's see if we can find some... Inspector Cannon, Dr. Portman told me about you. You've heard about your old friends? Yes, it's very sad. Have you seen them recently? Nancy used to visit, but not the others. Can you tell me a little about what happened when you were at university? No, not really. I don't remember. Dr. Portman says that it's quite normal because it's all too painful. I understand. I'm sorry. It was you who developed the profile type software, right? I don't know profile type. But Peter, I know it was you. Maybe you gave it to Bill or Nancy. I gave Bill plenty of gifts, but he never comes to see me. It's kind of sad, don't you think? I agree, Peter. I have to go now, Inspector. I have an appointment, Dr. Portman, for a therapy session. Goodbye. Goodbye, Peter. It's too shifty. I find it hard to believe that he can't remember anything. I may have missed something last time. I mainly focus on things to do with mathematics, but there are also lots of references to astronomy here. 3 moons. Wow. There's a crescent moon. Oh. You mean literal moons? There's one there. One there. There's a globe. Solar system. Telescope. Shooting star. I saw that. A galaxy. Far, far away. Saturn. Oh, got to find a moon. Lunar module. Galaxy. Astronauts insignia. Saturn and a moon. Saturn and a moon. Oh, that's the table. Is that a moon? No. Where's your moon? Oh, there's a star. Perhaps there might be some pictures of him and her together. Oh, I don't think the prison people would allow him to keep pictures of his murder victim, though. Oh, there it is. Photo of a couple. Aha. Would be if it was hidden away, eh? Mm-hmm. It's what I expected. Suspected Peter and Jennifer were having a relationship. Inspector Cunningham, I didn't expect to see you back here quite so soon. I found the file for the Howard case. Great, I knew that I could count on you. Right, I'm going to prepare coffee. I'll be back in a minute. Then I can tell you what's brought... You can tell me what's brought you back here so quickly. Alright, in the meantime, I'm going to have a look at your collection. It's fascinating. 2 flags, stagecoach, sheriff's star and a rope. There's a flag there. One there. Boots. Belt. Sheriff's star. Rifle. Bullets. I saw the rifle earlier. I'll find it there. Stagecoach. Ah, sheriff's star. Stagecoach, rifle, hat, sword, 2 pistols, spur, cannon, stirrup, and a bullet. I gotta find a bullet. An icky wicky bullet. Tinsy witsy bullet. Peter and Jennifer were having a relationship. Did he tell you? No, but as soon as I spoke about Jennifer's death, he clammed up, and I found a rather explicit photo of the 2 of them together in his room. If only you'd spoken about it, you remember that the medical examiner's assistant mentioned a second sperm sample found in Jennifer's body. But the sample he took disappeared, and his boss said that it was nothing more than the overactive imagination of an overworked trainee. Is that right? And what happened to the assistant? He resigned shortly afterwards. I think he went to Europe. As for the medical examiner, he died 2 years ago. Oh, a bit convenient. However, it does shed serious doubts on Peter's guilt in the case. True, and his friends who claimed to have saved his skin by testifying that he was mad appear not to be quite as nice as first thought. Especially considering that they got very rich with the software developed by their own Peter. Yes, good motive for murdering one of the blood friends. True, you're obviously on the right track, Inspector. Take that photo of Jennifer's crime scene, it might be useful, but it's pretty much all there is of interest here. It looks exactly the same crime scene as Nancy's. It just confirms my suspicion. The 2 cases are connected, but I have no proof. I'm going to pay Dr. Portman another visit in order to find out more about what Peter was doing at the time of the murders. Good luck then. If one of her patients was able to commit murder, Portman risks losing her funding. And believe me, she's more interested in her clinic than she is in the truth. I'll bear that in mind. Thanks for everything, Sheriff. Baxter, I have some news. Some good news at least. Or at last, what is it? We're going to compare 2 crime scenes. Scan the photo. There's the scanner. There's the photo. You see the body is exactly in the same position. Take a close look at all these similarities. 10 similarities. Not a hair, or a dress. Bruise. Let's have a look. Nothing. else on the grass. Gotta be on the body. Unbelievable, everything is identical, down to the smallest detail. It looks as if we were dealing with the same murderer. It's true, but I'm convinced that that isn't the case. I have some news too. I went to see Richard again. He's received the DNA results. There were 2 different samples in Nancy's body. Jeffrey's, of course, and an unidentified one. Exactly the same for Jennifer. We need to identify it. And one last thing. I checked the press archives 2001. I found an interview with the DA in charge of the affair, Antonio Mendes. Mendes, are you sure? Yes, and he's the great uncle of William Mendes, Bill, our main suspect. Great work, Baxter. You've looked into Peter Howard's family. He only has an aunt left, Maria Morton. I think that he works at her place a few days a week. Let's go and pay him a little visit. Right. Ooh. Keep out, stay away by the looks of it. Wow. Right, man on fire. What else we got? 3 rakes. What's that? Oh, it's not the fire one. That's the fire one. Barbed wire. Man on fire. No camping. No dogs. There's a hand. Stop. Trap. Oh, I've got to find 2 of those. That's not one. Oh, it's a man falling down there. Can't find another rake yet. Where's it? Oh, there it is. A rake. Can't put your hand on something here. And a man walking. There you go. Ah, that's that one. It's a big one, that one. Yep. 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 Footsteps. Security camera. There is another camera. Bottle. Oh, gotta find another of those. And a rake. Still looking for a rake. Rake. Oh, there it is. Not a very welcoming place. That's the least you can say. I'm looking for Peter. What do you want him for, and what are you doing here? This is private property. Inspector Cunningham, New York Police. I need to speak to your nephew. Peter isn't here. He's still at the hospital. He don't seem very happy about that. I found him some work at the neighbours, but he prefers to study and chat with that doctor. What sort of work does he do for you and your neighbours? Gardening, woodwork, simple stuff. He isn't very good with his hands. And does he have a room or a place of his own here? He set up a small place in the barn. Take a look if you like. Thank you very much for your help. Gotta go to the barn. It really looks like a DIY enthusiast den, but he wasn't very good with his hands. Okay. Hammer, shovel, battery, and a saw. Hammer. There's a oh, saw blades. There's a shovel. Can I move that? No. Oil can. Spade. Saw. And battery. And a scythe. And a brush. Sledgehammer? Wow. Oil can, rake, sledgehammer, crowbar. Saw that, yep. A knife and a hoo. A knife and an oil can. Is one of these an oil can? A knife. Perhaps I've got to get a knife first. Can't pull that down. They've got to come out of with a spout or something? I thought that was a water bowl. Oh. Ooh, we can have a look in here. I would have been surprised if we found nothing but tools. Question Maria Morton, examine her house. We've done that. I think we've got to get 3 in a row. No, can't do that. These 2. This one. Go. That's it. The first figure is 9. How did you work that out? Let's have a look at that one. Those 2. Second is number 5. What was it? 9-5. We got to remember that. I hope not. Finally, 1. 951. That sounds familiar. May the 9th, 2001. That's the date of Jennifer's. Ooh, Jennifer's death. Open the cupboard. And Jennifer, the photo must have been taken shortly before her death. Peter appears not to have gotten over it. It looks like you were right. Peter is out for revenge. He holds them responsible for what happened to Jennifer and is killing them one by one. Yes, but we have no proof. I know he killed Nancy, Jeffrey and Tom, and he wants Bill to be accused of the crime. The same as Bill had him accused of Jennifer's murder. Exactly, so his work is finished unless we can force him to make a mistake. If we can make him believe that his plan has failed and that Bill will not be bothered, he'll have to react. He'd want to kill him. Wow. I'm sure that we've missed something in this barn. Probably, but without a search warrant we can't go much further. I know, but look at all these aerials. There must be some computer equipment.